I must say, that was awesome. I'm the unfortunate one to follow. I didn't have a chance to practice or nothing since last Saturday. I had a hard time getting here, and I live 6 blocks away. I'm going to do one called Ellen Polka.
On the third Thursday of every month, you'll find Greg Lehrke at Evansville Art Center's Open Mic Night, where he has quite a following. Greg makes playing the concertina almost look easy. Of course, he has been playing it since he was just a kid.
Well, as a child, I got to see my father play a lot. I was very interested in playing myself, and I think being his first child, he wanted to teach me. And when I was 7, was when he taught me to play. I actually don't even remember the learning part. I think I picked it up that quick. But he was completely self-taught, and he used that Henry Silberhorn book. Yeah, I think by the time he was 19, he was playing on a regular basis. He was known as Concertina Gordy, and he played with many different bands, and I think probably the biggest band was the Jolly Huntsmen, and they were a 7-piece band, and they got to play at Medina Ballroom and Bellray Ballroom. They played all over the Twin Cities area.
You play with some of his instruments, or do you want to tell us about the concertinas that you have?
Okay, the ones I have are these 4 behind me, and 3 of them are Stradivarius, and the one that says Star on it, and Gordy, was my father's. And I actually didn't own one till I was 35 years old. But my dad always had 3 or 4 of them, and I was always visiting them, and then whenever I went over there, him and I would always play. That is actually a glass concertina, and it was one of the last glass concertinas built, and they had run out of cases. We were able to borrow a case from Star to put it in. And that was his concertina, and I bought that from him in 2008. That one's very special. I don't take it out a whole lot. My style is almost identical to his. I pretty much copied everything he did. And even when we recorded our first CD, and we had always talked about recording a CD with just the concertinas. We always felt that people never heard really everything a concertina could do. He was having a little trouble playing because he was 77 then, but he still was doing little runs and things that I'd pick up and I'd find myself doing. He still was teaching me. And one of the neatest things he ever told me was, he said, I may have taught you how to play the concertina, he said, but you're showing me how to play it. And nothing ever made me feel as good as my father telling me something like that. My dad had a brand new Echo concertina. And he liked this old one so much, he sold that one and got this one. And it was in kind of tough shape, and it's an unusual color. And he kind of put it back together. And this one, I'll show how it's got the high-low switch. So we'll give you a polka.
Yeah.
This one's called Gary's Polka.
Not only did his father rebuild this old concertina, he was such a good musician that he was inducted into the World Concertina Congress Hall of Fame.
The Concertina Hall of Fame was in Michigan, and they moved it to Wausau, Wisconsin. He went in 1994. One of the reasons was his playing, but he also taught 100 people how to play. This one I got about, I'd say it's almost 25 years ago. And it was one my dad found for me, and I'm sure he gave me a good deal on it. And this friend of his that helps build the Echo concertina set up all the keys for me. They're as light as they can be so it's very easy to play. The only thing I can say, it helps to learn at 7. I know if I think about it, if I'm looking at a sheet of music and imagining it, I'm seeing it, it's going to my fingers, but it happens that fast.
Greg's second CD, recently released, is a tribute to Concertina Gordy.
I picked out a lot of my favorites and a lot of songs that we like to do together. And then the last song I did on the CD was When the Saints Go Marching In, and I got my 12-year-old grandson played the keyboard with me on that. So we kind of got 3 generations. Me, and I played my dad's concertina on that song too. There's concertinas that are called doubles, triples, and quads. And a double has 2 sets of reeds, triple has 3 sets, and a quad has 4 sets. And some quads, like this black one, got switches. So the 4 sets of reeds are separated. So it's got 4 different sounds. And when you put them all together, it's called musette. So that's the 5th sound. So that one has 5 buttons. These other 2 have a high-low switch. So one switch is the 2 high sets, one switch is the 2 low sets. And then this is just a double, and it's what you hear is what you get.
Okay.
And I'll just do a little waltz on this one called the Oompa Waltz. I wouldn't say I'm a professional, but whenever I'm asked to play, I usually take the job. I don't have a band, so most of the time I'm playing by myself. But I have played with other bands. I played with my dad when he retired. I've done shows with Mick O'Cowdery and his Irish band. I've done Jingle Bells, and I've played at the Quad A Theater in Alexandria. I play at churches. I play at my church off and on, and I played at the Unitarian Church in Underwood. There's just been many places. I've had a chance to play at Carlos Creek, an open mic in Evansville. I've been doing that for 4 years now, I think. It's the 3rd Thursday of every month, and I've always enjoyed that. I got a nice little fan club there. This concertina I bought in Elbow Lake, and this is a E-flat Stradivarius. And I will show you the side here. Here's the 5 buttons. You got 5 different sounds. I'll hold it and I'll show you how the different sounds. This one's bassoon. This one's called clarinet. This is the master key. This one's called bandon. And this is musette, and that puts them all together. And then another thing different on this one, the left hand's low reeds. All the other ones have the high reeds for the left hand. The song I'll play on this one's called In the Concertina Mood, and the concertina player took the song In the Mood and changed it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I've got 2 photographs, and one's when my dad was with the Jolly Huntsmen from 1967 at the Bellray Ballroom, and the whole band is kind of dressed in red. And then I played at Medina with the Minnesota Concertina Club, and it happened we dressed in red. That was 2008, 31 years apart. I love those 2 photographs. He was the best, taught me everything.